other than that, it's going to be a nice night. You know why? Because it is Friday. It is Fleccas Friday. Fleckus is calling in. We're going to be doing a couple of good... Matt's here. What's going on, Matt?
Hello, Francis.
It's good to see you. How's life treating you?
It's all right.
Okay, things are all right. All is well.
Mm-hmm.
Matt is here in studio. Fleckus is going to be calling in a couple of minutes, and he will be on the Zoom from down south. And what we're going to do tonight, okay, we're going to do a little bit of a reel review. We're going to review some reels. Fleckus sent a few in. I have a couple from the last week or so that made me laugh or maybe went, And after that, we're going to read through an article that I have been waiting to do in its entirety on this show. And it is titled, A Time We Never Knew, by Freya India. And Freya is a very... a more and more popular Gen Z writer who likes to chronicle pretty much social media, especially, and the effects it's had on her generation in particular. But this one, I think, this article in itself is really going to, I think, touch everybody from all the generations that watch, and perhaps it'll inspire some good second half calls, even when Fleckus has departed the show. So that's what we're doing tonight, with a hint of solar storm, because I'm sure we'll have some flexibility in the second half to talk about that too, if any of you have anything that you want to contribute. And for those of you who believe that there is a place where solar storms could exist, of course. And then, and that's what we do tonight on a Friday, on Quite Frankly. So let's get started. Let's get going. Let me see here. Where the hell are we? Okay, here we go. First thing up on the docket for the grab bag is, Matt, you're going to like this. Take a listen to this. There was a graduation ceremony. Where the hell was this? It's been a long time since we graduated. What do you mean you graduated? Where the hell is this written? Anyway, there is I'm trying to see what the university is. One of the announcers at a graduation commencement ceremony somewhere in the country was given a list of students' names as they're coming up to get their diplomas, their degrees, whatever. And the announcer obviously was not giving the people's names. They were only given a list of the phonetic pronunciation of everybody's names. So they're trying to make sense of all of these phonetic pronunciations there instead of just reading the names, and it's making it impossible for her to even say basic names. And so take a listen to this. Listen to some of these names that have been rattled off over here. Again, I don't know where this is. Let's see.
Maybe Lee Zubeth.
Okay, it's Maeve Elizabeth Brostowski. Okay, but listen. Oh, please just play. Solar storm be damned. Holy shit. It just never ends. There you go.
Maybe Lee Zubeth Brataski. Sayer Uvun Jinju Brinan.
She just said Sarah Virginia Brennan. Now, first of all, what is the phonetic of Sarah? I mean, wouldn't you? I would just put like S-A-R. I don't know.
Sarah.
I don't even know, because it's just so self. But either way, they screwed it up. The poor kids, they don't know what the hell they're talking about, but they're the next one in line, so they just keep going.
Marcelin Brabazan Carr.
Marissa Lynn Brabazan Carr. Marissa Lynn.
Victoria Lee Zubeth Ross.
It's Victoria Elizabeth Bruce. It's just hilarious how everybody got screwed up. That's a nice little thing. You know, all things considered, at least they had a graduation. At least they had a graduation. There's some kids out there right now who aren't, who are having all their hard work acknowledged in a letter home because of one protest or another. Anyway, here's another one, Matt. Earth to be pounded. That's what today.
Oh,
Totally.
it's going to get hollowed out.
Earth to be pounded by a rare solar storm that could wipe out the internet.
Thank God.
You know, that would be fine. I'd be fine. If the internet was gone on Monday and I was forced to take a day off and we were all forced to take a breath, I don't know, maybe for a week. Obviously, if we're all in the same boat.
They want the internet to go down, though. To hide their deeds and to stop Trump.
Dude, that's incredible. Did you see? Did you hear James Carville? I don't know. I don't.
Listen to that idiot.
I don't know how recent this was, but Adrian from Rise Attire shared this today. Listen to this. So it had to be sometime recently. They're talking about J6.
Go ahead.
Listen to this.
Well, here.
Hold on. I think this is wonderful. This little meltdown over here. Again, I don't know when this happened.
Trump's more ahead than he's ever been. Fewer people think January 6th was any kind of what it was, an assault on the temple of democracy, the Constitution. I don't know whatever the fuck you want to say. It's going the wrong way. It's not working. Everything that we're throwing is spaghetti at a wall, and none of it is sticking, me included. And it's hard when you start in your 80th year, and you know, like anybody else, I have an opinion of myself, and the opinion I've come to is I don't matter. It doesn't matter. You can prepare. You can be on TV. You can write pieces, you can have a YouTube channel, you can have a podcast, and nothing. And, you know, we gotta, try to think of something different, because what we're doing is really, really, really not working.
I didn't... You know, I don't know when that's from, but it's relevant no matter what. And again, there's nothing that can be done. Once you lose people, people are not looking to the normal places for explanations as to what's going on anymore. You know, it's not a domestic economic policy that needs to be tweaked a quarter of a degree in one direction or the other. The gates of hell have opened up, and we can see, we can see that it's spaghetti being thrown against the wall. That's the whole thing. You've thrown the kitchen sink against the wall, and I'm talking about all of them. It's not just Democrats. They've thrown the kitchen sink against the wall to try to keep some kind of order here. But yeah, back to this whole thing. A rare warning has been issued that over a solar storm that could affect Earth's power supplies and knock out the internet. A severe geomagnetic storm watch was put out by the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration yesterday, the first such warning since January 2005. So, at that time, the highest dose of radiation in 50 years had hit the Earth, and here we have it. So, I've got a lot of friends who this is all that they talk about. I'm in a couple of group chats all day long. I'm barely doing any talking in them, but I'm there, I'm present, and they're just sharing KP index charts and solar activity charts, and they're just constantly on top of this. Now, here's the other thing. Most of the time that people say the big one's coming now, or we're about to get pelted, I don't notice anything. And if I didn't have friends that were telling me about it, that it's coming, we're getting hit right now, look at the readings over here, we're in the red on this category, we're in the red on this chart, that is really bad. And if they weren't there telling me, I wouldn't know what the hell's going on. I wouldn't feel anything. Nothing would change. Maybe that's just...
I never noticed it.
Yeah. I don't know.
When's the storm coming?
We're in the middle of it. We got hit with the first wave, I think, a few hours ago, and there's just more coming our way. I mean, we'll see. The weekend is here, and maybe something will happen. But other than that, we are going to get this one started now, because Fleckus is going to be joining us in just a few minutes. We've got him for the first hour, and I want to have a little bit of fun. I hope that it's fun for you too. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday night.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's ride!
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would welcome you for, again, Friday night. And it's going to be a good one. And joining us tonight on this Friday, a man who has redefined man on the street interviews with nothing but a wooden gravy spoon. He is the host of Fleccas Talks, the podcast, which is the best new podcast of all time for
Indeed.
3 years and counting now.
Indeed.
His mother also watches the show, quite frankly, so she passes the vibe check as well.
All right.
That's right. Fleckus, welcome back to the show, my friend. How you doing? Oh, hold on. You're muted for some reason. There, I asked to unmute you.
Unmute.
How you
Can you hear
feeling?
me now?
Yeah, I do. How you doing?
Doing good. Thank you for the intro. What's up, Matt? How you doing?
What's up, man? What's going on?
Chilling. Happy to be here, guys.
Yeah.
Feels good.
It does feel good. Hey, has the solar flare affected you in Florida at all? Obviously, we all should be getting hit at the same time, but anything yet?
I haven't noticed anything yet, but this last week or so, I've been a little groggy. My head feels a little slow. So maybe that's it. I'm looking for something to blame.
You know, I didn't even think about the personal stuff. I'm thinking about the mantle. I'm thinking about all the conversations we had with Ben Davidson a month or so ago when we were talking about the potential for earthquakes and things shifting about and what this actually really means. But that right there, that should be the most immediate thing. What the hell happens to people? People are 70% water. We brought that up the other night.
And we have a lot of people have heavy metals in their bodies too. So when you who knows what happens when you kind of microwave them.
Heavy metals and nanotechnology. What the hell, man? How are we going to get
worms? We got worms.
I got in touch with Alana Freeland last night. I said, listen, how do we get these goddamn robots out of us? You know?
I'm actually doing a detox now. I'm doing a heavy metal detox where it penetrates the blood-brain barrier and sucks all the metals out.
What?
Shit. That's something like what she sent back to me. I have to read through it. I said I was going to make it a part of the show maybe on Monday night, just as a little bit of a bulletin, because I brought it up last night when we talked about parasites. It was a little bit of a parasite link between possession, demonic possession, and also just radio connectivity and mind control. We're kind of linking that all together a little bit this past week, Fleckus. So I've been thinking about not only biological parasites, but also anything that can mimic that on a synthetic level too. And my oh my.
Did she say anything about Wi-Fi affecting the parasites?
Oh, she's been on 5G for a while. But did you see the stuff that was even published in Popular Mechanics as far back as January of last year, where they're talking about 6G? Was a lot of, some people who are working on 6G want to see if they would be able to actually use humanity, mankind, people, you, me, Matt, everybody out there, as an extension of the 6G system. We would actually become the antennas.
Great.
I mean, and I'm just saying.
Thanks, guys. Are you sure you want to do this? Like, thanks, guys. I'm the antenna, and you're going to microwave everybody through me? Oh, thanks.
Well, not only that, did you see that the guy that got the Neuralink chip, it's damaged or something?
Yeah, I heard there was issues. I didn't know what the specific problems he was facing, though.
Hold on. Neuralink's, this is from yesterday. Let me put this up on the screen. Neuralink's first brain chip implant in a human appeared flawless, but there was a problem. There he is. Neuralink encountered a problem with the implant in his first human patient, Noland Arbaugh, that reduced the amount of data it could capture from his brain, according to a blog post the company published on Wednesday. Some data was lost because of a number of implant threads that had been placed on his brain had come out. You know, it's bad enough when you're dealing with a computer and you have packet loss. It's another thing when it's in your brain, because what are you going to do? You can't restart it. You got to go back inside of his brain. The company
just floating around in there.
I know. Let's see. Didn't disclose the reason why the threads retracted unexpectedly. Neuralink posted about the problem on its blog after the Wall Street Journal inquired about the issue. One factor that Neuralink explored is that maybe contributed to the threads coming out was that air was trapped inside of his skull after surgery.
Airhead.
Oh. So, you know, I don't know, Fleckus. I don't know, Matt. This is just thin ice.
His head didn't inflate like JFK and blow up.
I know. We lost a president over this once.
Yeah. And then, you know, it's like maybe you just live your life how you live it, and if something happens or you get sick and that's how it goes, that's how it goes. No need to play God and start putting chips in, especially the first one. Don't sign me up for that.
Honestly, if it came to when it comes to quadriplegics and paralysis, I'm fine with it that way. I think my biggest issue is it's not going to be that way. It's going to be marketed as a really efficient way of doing business, a really efficient way of gaming, immersive virtual reality nonsense. That's really what's going to be.
Especially if they wreck reality. So if you wreck reality so much that like this online world would actually be better and more appealing, and you know, so it's almost like I can see the long game there, where you can encourage people to like upload to the metaverse or whatever, because the real world is so ruined by all of the things that they've put in place.
Well, then let me ask you this. This is a question that I brought up on the show last year, or maybe the year before, maybe 23 or 22. And we were talking about simulation theory. Now, not so much that our life here, our time on Earth began as a computer simulation or anything like that, but I picked it up from the standpoint that if you take what we know about our species to heart, especially the fact that whatever we can dabble with, we will dabble with. There's usually very little ethical restraint on where we will go and what we will try. And especially when you talk about AI, metaverse, virtual reality environments, things like that, when they become more and more immersive, the theory that I really give some thought to is that eventually, as we go down that slippery slope, there will be a time when the immersed virtual reality is indistinguishable from the reality outside, and maybe even preferable, like you just said. And at that point, once that has been reached, how do we know it hasn't already been reached and this is the simulation? You know? How do you know? And so when I brought that up on the show, I paired it with an analogy to the movie Inception. Now, you know, in Inception, when Leonardo DiCaprio and everybody in his team, that they're jumping into the dreams, inside of the dreams, they all have a totem on them so that they can tell whether or not they're dreaming. Leonardo DiCaprio's totem was the spinning top. If the spinning top fell over, he knew that he was back home. If it stayed spinning forever, he knew he was in the dream. My question to the audience was, what would your totem be? How would you always be able to tell that this was real reality and it wasn't a simulation or a dream state? Do you have that? Do you have that one thing off the top of your head, or would you have to think about it?
I'd have to think about it. I would maybe do a coin, some sort of coin. But it would probably be the same thing as Leonardo DiCaprio, where you just spin it and it's not that fun or creative. We'll just be doing the spinning the coin. It wouldn't be that good.
But maybe it works. Maybe you could just use the top. Who knows?
Yeah, I would just use the top.
Wow.
Sounds like he already figured it out.
So that's where the whole simulation theory gets me thinking, because if we've already done it somewhere down the line, but that is, of course, if time is linear, then we get into something completely different. Then we're talking about what is the nature of time? Is it linear, or are we talking about timelines and forking and multiverse and all that other shit? But anyway, hey, let me ask you something. Do you ever get people sending you things through? Do you have like a PO box?
Yeah.
Now, so people send you gifts all the time.
Yeah.
Do people ever mistakenly send you just their house shopping?
No, like an Amazon accidental order.
Yep.
You get stuff sent to you
all the time. A couple of maybe about a month ago. I mean, it's been going on for a while. Because what people do is that when they want to send me a gift or something like that, if it's just maybe it's the holidays and they want to send something cute for Aurora or whatever, they'll add the PO box onto their Amazon account, and then they'll forget to change it, or they'll mistakenly add it as a default. I got all of this, garden fertilizer sent to me last year. I think about 2 months ago, I had a 50 bag box of just like kitchen garbage bags. We didn't, and they were the black bags too. So we were fine. That's what we used. But they sent us garbage bags. This just came today. Somebody sent me Finish. Let's see. It gets all the wet spots out of your dishes. It is Finish dishwasher fluid. So
what the fuck is a wet spot in a dish?
You know how you get
when it's dry, it's dry.
You know how you got water spots on your?
Well, I know water spots. It's like they look like little white lines and drops.
Yeah, on your fork or your spoon. You never had like a water spot?
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is the latest one. It's a 3-in-1 Powerball Shine technology. Finish Jet dry rinse aid, dishwasher rinse aid. So I have somebody's Finish. I don't have a dishwasher, so I can't use it. I'm going to give it to anybody who wants it, or the person who ordered it. You just get in touch with me and just double check.
Yeah. I'm sure if you look that up, that it probably has some sort of like horribly toxic chemicals that you should never ingest in your body, and just like everything else. Every single thing, I feel like, actually, turns out it's poison.
Yeah, well, this can cause skin irritation. Avoid contact with skin. Contains surfactants. What is that?
They crush up someone's cervix and they put the powder in there.
Oh, it's a special made with dried cervix, so you know it's good. All right, so let me ask you guys both this. I know, Matt, you're going to have an opinion, and also Fleccus, you must have talked about this with Richard. But what do you think about Barron Trump? At least for a moment, he was a declared Florida delegate. Now I heard that Melania pulled him away from it, and he's not going to do it anymore. But what do you think about this? He is now he's on the ascent.
I like it.
It's
true exciting stuff. I've never heard him talk. I feel like they've kind of kept him away for a long time, which is fine, especially since he was a kid. I think he's 18 years old now. But now I'm finally hearing little stories about him. Like I heard a story that he crashed a golf cart with his friends into a Secret Service little stakeout area, and he's getting into some trouble at Mar-a-Lago. And I also hear that he schmoozes people in the campaign and conservative influencers and like donors and stuff. Like he's pretty good, which is great. I've just never heard him speak. I've never seen him on camera or anything. So that's what I want to see that clip. I want to know what he sounds like and what his presence is like. But I think I also read some schizo thing that he could be like some sort of time traveler alien. I'm sure you guys know the Ingersoll Lockwood books.
I have them.
The Adventures of Barron Trump.
I bought them. Yeah.
I have a bunch of those. So I like to, and then, John Trump, the uncle with the Tesla docs. I like to believe that there's some sort of 500-year plan in the works here that's going to come to fruition through Barron Trump.
It is.
What do you think, Matt?
Whatever voice that you hear is not his real voice, because if he used his real voice, your head would explode.
Oh, so he speaks like Enochian voices of angels.
He's almost like a vampiric angel.
Fleckus, I had a friend back in the day who actually is now a tenant, who's actually now a tenant in this building. He has a very successful paranormal TikTok account. But he used to claim when we were children that he was an angelic angel.
Angelic
not
vampire. Children. You were teenagers, man.
No, we were coming out of it was 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade, and then really into high school. He told us that he was a vampiric angel. He was a vampire and an angel. He watched a lot of Buffy. And,
a vampire and an angel.
And he told us at one point, he said, I can't even tell you what my real name is because if I said it in the proper frequency, your head would explode.
Man, I believe him.
Me too. He's right next door probably. Gonna have to go see him later on. All right, but this is what he said. This is from Donald Trump. He said, Trump says that Barron likes to give political advice. Dad, this is what you have to do. This is what he's saying to the father.
He's the future God Emperor.
He's saying this.
I hope so, man. And I hope Trump listens. Because I was talking to some Trump people the other day, and they told me that they're really considering Marco Rubio as the vice president because he's Hispanic.
That can't be.
And I wanted to I wanted to end it right there.
Just from a gamesmanship and analysis standpoint, that can't be. First of all, I don't know any Spanish people who consider him Hispanic. He's just a little runt. He always has been, and nobody likes him.
He's a little suit boy, and he barely liked Trump. Like, he wasn't even loyal to Trump so we could bring him in as the VP, and then I don't know that. You can't have him be one heartbeat away from the presidency, in my opinion.
I mean, it doesn't even matter. Donald Trump is nowhere near the White House for 4 years now. But Marco Rubio, he is still doing his thing. And it was Marco Rubio, among others, who are sitting there interfacing and exchanging these ridiculous canned lines with Victoria Nuland about Ukraine and Russian bioterrorism threats and all that stuff and whatever. I mean, he's out there managing, a silent world war right now. And that's with Trump out of office. So, yeah, it's a scary thing there. But maybe Barron. The one thing I actually like out of all the Barron Trump theories, the one is that Barron is actually Donald. That Barron is Donald. That he can, I just saw Fleckus' face completely change. Like, oh my God, that's it.
This is compelling. This might be my new theory. I've heard enough.
Right, that Barron is Donald or some sort of, I don't know. There's something there that he came back and it's almost like like with the Prestige. when Christian Bale has a twin of himself and they're just like managing appearances. Anyway, so I just wanted to bring that up.
Wow, that would be lit.
Yeah, it would be. Here's another question I want to ask you. I don't know if you guys covered this on your show. Did you in any way notice or mention the sentencing of the guy that was called the Eunuch Maker in Europe?
No,
did you hear about this guy?
Heard about this.
I brought him up last night, but I think you guys need to know about him. Take a look at this. This guy right here has been sentenced to life. He was known as the Eunuch Maker, and he pretty much was running a website that had over 22,800 paying subscribers. He was making close to $400,000 a year American, cutting off people's genitalia on live streams, including his own. He cut off his dick 4 years ago and kept it in a freezer. And they call him the Eunuch Maker. And he is now, I know Matt's not feeling very well right now, but I can't believe that you guys didn't hear that. This is like right up your alleys.
Successful paywall business.
Yeah.
With exclusive content. Exactly.
His name is
Wow.
and that's the knife that he used to cut his own thing off.
And they caught him, and he's done now?
He's done. But again, the real thing here is not that there's a maniac out there that wanted to mutilate other human beings. The fact that he was actually able to make this into nearly a $500,000 a year subscription service, and there was nearly 30,000 people who were actively paying to watch this stuff happen. I mean, there's 30,000 other people that need to be found right now. But you know, the little things like this give you a glimpse into a much bigger problem.
Yeah, and then you have this going on, and then obviously all of the resources of our FBI and CIA, you know, they're being wasted on other stuff. But you have people like this running a whole business, $500,000.
Yeah, man. I think the average person paid about $16 a month.
Wow.
You know, so any kind of content creator out there who has a nice little audience who appreciates, don't be afraid of saying, hey, can you sponsor me for $5 a month? Don't be afraid of it, because there are people out there who are paying $20 to $100 a month to watch some maniac cut off dicks.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw today, Candace Owens, she charges $5,000 a minute.
What for? What?
For one-on-one conversations, and it is a 15-minute minimum. And I'm not hating. I'm just saying there's a spectrum to this type of content. You can pay for certain things and create these businesses. But yeah, Candace is raking it in, $5,000 a minute.
Wow.
It's like a consultation, and then it's $150 per text message back and forth, and then she'll send you a video, $500 per video. And then in-person one-on-one, or maybe it's even Zoom, and it's $5,000 a minute.
I don't even know if there are any lawyers out there and a lawyer is a person you really need at a pinch. What the hell is I know that she's popular and she's really made a name for herself in I don't know, at least mainstream conservative circles, debate, things like that. She's an attractive name, but damn, we used to text each other on Twitter before she blew up. She lives around here. She comes from around here, Fleckus. We used to shop at the same Whole Foods.
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and yeah, we used. I mean, it was little exchanges and stuff, but then it was just one day I was unfollowed and she only followed like 12 people, and now she's one of the biggest names out there, commanding $5,000 a minute.
That's insane.
Jeez.
And then also maybe she'll do a thing, I forget what it's called, when you go back in time and charge people too. So all those texts you sent, you might owe her a couple $1,000 if you were communicating with her back in the day. What's that called, where you go back, you do it backwards in time?
It's retroactive,
I guess.
Yeah, it's retroactive.
Yeah, so she might send you an invoice for all those texts.
I'm going through these DMs. I'm going to get mine. All right. Well, how did this come out?
Someone leaked it. There's like an app or something she uses, and someone leaked it. And I bet it's just like boomer donors with a lot of money that just like her and want to talk to her for 20 minutes or something. But that's $100,000.
I'm telling you, $100,000 for 20 minutes. What are you even getting out of that? You just to do what? To pretend that you're friends for 20 minutes?
I think literally it's probably like, we love what you're doing. You're doing so great. What do you do? What's coming up? And then she kind of just talks to you a little bit, and the money gets wired.
All right. Well, listen, it's 7:32. I want to. Let's just go through these reels. I want to do a reel review with you, because then I want to talk about this this other article, and I want to do it with you guys. I think it'll be a good conversation starter, and I know that we don't have all night with you, Fleckus. So let's just get this done. We are doing a reel review. And Fleckus, I'm going to start with your reels that you sent me. These are just the reels that we got over the last couple, that made us pause and either laugh or cringe or whatever over the last couple of days to last week. And let me go now. First, let's talk about this guy. Hold on a second. Here we go. I'm going to get you out of the way. Boom. And Matt out of the way. Boom. Let's go. All right. What is the deal with this guy? Then we're going to press play.
So this guy is he has an old school New York haircut experience. That's very rare. Not everyone in the country knows about what getting a haircut for $8 is like. But growing up, this is the kind of guy I would get a haircut from. And it's just something that you think is kind of gone, because these days everyone gets like the $100 haircut with the beard trim and the straight lines. This was the guy who was this type of guy was cutting my hair my whole life up until a few years ago.
All right, let's listen to him. Here we go. Hold on a second. Wait, boom.
Baby, my boy Sal Picasso, man. The best, this guy. $8. Picasso with he taught Edward Scissorhand, this guy. I've been only sitting in the chair for 2 minutes. I got a haircut already. And he gives you a lollipop at the end. This guy's the best. You got to come to parks. Listen, if you don't like people, you can't live in New York City. I'm in a place, they call it Bangladesh way. All right, Indians over here doing the eye threading. I got Sal the Barber listening to Sinatra over here, belting out Mario Lanza. And I got the Dominicans in the back cutting hair. Come on. You don't even hear English in this place.
It's a little taste of New York in a 30-second clip.
And his name is Mr. Positive's what is his name? I don't know, but
this guy is the guy getting his hair cut is I think that's Mr. Positive something. But I have like this thing where I call them pets, people with entertaining talents, PETs. And it's basically like peculiar online personalities that I kind of like get obsessed with and I follow really closely. And it's like replaced reality TV for me.
Yes.
Because I don't watch TV. I don't watch anything that's like on at a certain time. So maybe I'll watch Netflix or something, but I don't really watch TV. So I replaced like that kind of content consumption with entertaining peculiar people online with all different variances of like following. Some have like 2 likes on the video, some have thousands, and it's way more fun to keep up with your pets that way.
Then have you found this guy? He's also a New Yorker. He's an Italian living in New York. He dresses like a pimp. And he walks around, he struts up to the camera, and he gives some kind of a fortune cookie saying, and then he walks away like he just fixed the world. His name is Fabrizio Brienza. And
I've heard of him.
It's cheesy, it's corny sometimes, but just like what you described, for some reason, I want to see what he puts out next. It's a vibe. I don't know what the hell it is. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the top comment on this guy from the barbershop. This guy's face would be terrifying to see on LSD. And here's another one. This guy could eat an apple in one bite. Yeah, he does have a very big mouth. He does have a big mouth, you're right. Yeah. Anyway, but he looks like a nice guy. All right, here's the next one. I don't know what has happened to Ben Kingsley these days, but what is with this old guy and the high heels? Let's listen to this one. Another Fleckus pick.
Look, and the higher the hill, it kind of gives you more of a sense of confidence and empowerment. It's kind of what kind of got me started wearing high heels. In the first place, I saw a woman walking to the airport, and I heard that distinctive click, 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 and I turned around and I saw this woman wearing a pair of stilettos heels. She just had that look of confidence and empowerment. And I kind of feel that when I wear a little bit higher heel, I feel a little bit more confident. I talked to my wife. I said, hey, listen, I want to go buy a pair of high heels. And she goes, oh, okay, well, let's go buy your pair of heels. So we just went to the small shoe store. I mean,
he's talking about, it's just heels. I like the click, click, click. He's wearing a dress. He's also wearing a dress. This is not about the heel. Men's dress shoes, click, click, click. I love that sound too.
Yeah, you should get a pair of cowboy boots maybe.
Wow.
And then he goes, I talked to my wife about it. And it's like, that's where the video takes a curveball. Everyone just assumes this guy's maybe got some issues. Maybe he's a little gay or trans or something. I talked to my wife.
The enabling wife.
His wife
could be a dude. It makes you feel more confident.
I don't know. The wife is looking for some permissions. That's okay. Well, if he wants to wear his high heels, then I'm going to get something out of this too. God knows what she asked permission for. All right, so let's go to the next one. Poor guy. Now this is crazy.
This next guy, I believe, is blind and autistic, but then he sings Michael Jackson perfectly.
Okay, let's listen.
Write your name in the comment. Thank you so much. Let's go.
It's crazy. Great. Wow. I had to listen to at least one chorus.
Good. Did you hear his nephew? Did you hear Michael Jackson's nephew?
No.
He just came out with an album. I think he's Jermaine's son. Dude,
good.
Fucking sounds exactly like Michael Jackson. Exactly like him.
Well, hopefully he has better luck in life.
Michael Jackson had pretty good luck.
Oh, he had great luck. He was extremely talented, but he was also just thrown through the meat grinder by the time he was 5. Hopefully this kid had a little bit more of a childhood.
Yeah, I think he's like almost an adult.
Well, also
man.
Joe is dead, so that's another thing he has going for him. All right, what's this one? Oh, what's this one? This is the mole people.
Peter Kane.
This guy.
This is wait. So this is the guy with that got
raped by Bigfoot.
Yeah, Did you ever see that one? Did you ever see that?
I didn't hear about that.
Oh my god. Okay, let's watch this. Let's watch this, and then we have to show Fleckus. Hold on. We have to show him.
Anytime you're in the vicinity of Hackmanite, you are in the vicinity of a mole person cavern. You should be very, very careful. They're a very dangerous cryptid. This person is taking a huge chance mining this. Just let it go. You're better off looking for gold, silver. Don't do it. And don't go in a mole person cavern.
Yeah, that's Peter Kane. He knows all about the cryptids, so like the mole people, mermaids, Bigfoot.
Oh man, I can't believe. Okay,
all kinds of stuff. He's good.
He had an encounter with a Bigfoot, with a female Bigfoot.
Peter Kane, hold on. Peter Kane dog training, Bigfoot. I can't believe that you haven't seen this. Where's the original? Hold on, please. Where's the original? Let me find it. Bigfoot original. Hold on. There's no. Why is this not at the top of the internet, right? Whenever you put that in here. Hold on. Raped by Bigfoot. And if I don't find it right now, then we're going.
The internet's not fun anymore.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm just going to go to. Oh, wait. This is it. Female Bigfoot forced me to do it. Okay. Take a listen to this.
About right.
Here you go. Listen to this.
This is where it happened, back here in this dry creek bed. I was back here looking. I thought one of my dogs was back here. And I was like, how'd the dog get out of the yard? I saw a bunch of, movement. And then I got back and, well, maybe it's a deer. And then I was worried about my dogs because there's a lot of Bigfoot and Sasquatch in this area. I didn't have a gun with me. And so I got back here, and that's when I saw the female Sasquatch. She tore out of the bushes, knocked me down on the ground, and I thought she was going to kill me. I'm like grabbing for a gun, and then I realized I didn't bring a gun with me. I didn't have a dog with me. I was back here by myself. I was terrified. I was so terrified. It was so scary. And I wouldn't be back here right now, except I feel the need to get over my fear and what happened. And what happened was, as soon as I was knocked down on the ground, she starts ripping my clothes off me. She did. She pulled my pants off me, and I'm like, oh great, what she's gonna kill me, they're gonna find my naked body here. It's worse. As soon as she got my pants off me, she started jerking the ween. And I'm like, whoa, that's not going to work. What are you doing? And then the next thing I know, keep in mind, this is a big Sasquatch, comparable to a big, hairy Russian woman. I mean, she was big. She was 7.5, 8 feet tall and hairy. And so I'm down there on the ground. I'm completely naked. My clothes have been ripped off me. And she starts giving me a knobber. It was all just biological. I didn't have any choice. And the next thing you know, I blew my load. I blew my load in the Sasquatch. As soon as I did that, she got up and she ripped down.
So you get the point. There you go. So he's been giving cryptid advice for a long time. I'm glad that you found him.
Yeah, he's an expert, and I'm glad I found him too. I'm only a week into his content, but it's been good so far.
All right, well, here's a few from me. Let me see here. This one is weird. This one is actually. This one is. Here it is. There's a guy that went into a gym, and he's looking to get a gym membership. You saw this?
Yeah. This is like my favorite bit.
Okay, I never saw this. He brought a Chinese translator in to talk to a gym manager, and everybody in the room speaks English. But the Chinese translator is just talking Chinese the whole time. Listen to this as he's trying to sell a membership to this guy with the translator.
I would
like to join.
Okay. Well, you speak English. 你说英文对不对
Yes.
是的 Okay, cool. You live in Los Angeles. 你在这边住吗？洛杉矶。
Currently, yes.
现在我是在这边住。Okay. So, 所以
we have
我们有
an agreement
一个同意协议书，协议书就是说需要签你的字。
It is a 12-month agreement.
是一个12月的这么一个协议书。
Per month is 287.
每个月是这个670。
Now it keeps going. He's having a hard time. But the crazy thing here is $287 a month. What
that
the?
Must be a high end. That must be an Equinox type place.
I don't know, man. That's just nuts. Anyway,
dude, that kind of joke though is so funny to me. The where it's like the only explanation is like you're doing a prank on me, and then like the gym guy, like doesn't really want to like jump to that conclusion yet, so it just keeps going. That's my favorite kind of bit as of late.
Me too. I'm looking for a lot of light-hearted stuff because a lot of the things that people consider pranks these days are really they're dangerous, they're cringe, and they're uncomfortable. You know, I like jump scares where everybody laughs afterwards. Things like that.
There's a new genre of prank I've been looking at where the guy like will meet someone in the grocery store and say like, if you do this thing where I put my arm out and then you go under,
yes,
for like 60 seconds, I'll give you $100, but you have to close your eyes. So he'll do it for the first 5 seconds, and the person will be going under each side. And then he'll walk away, and then there's just a person in the grocery store just standing there going like that. So then like when they open their eyes, they're just like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? You know, everyone's staring at them. I show that on my show, and I always tell my audience, like, if you're ever insecure or self-conscious or think people are staring at you, like when someone's in the grocery store going like this by themselves, people barely even notice. They kind of just go, oh, like... And they just move on with their day. They don't want to know what's going on. They don't think you're stupid. They just like, they don't even really process what it fully is. So I kind of use that as an example to teach the audience like, hey, you don't need to be insecure. There's people doing this and no one even notices. Everyone's pretty much an autopilot. I saw that prank once done to this young girl. She couldn't have been more than 15 or 16 years old in a mall. This kid goes up to her and says, hey, I got some money, and I want you to duck under one way, duck under the other way, and do that with your eyes closed continuously for 60 seconds without hitting my arm, and you're going to get this $100. She's like, okay, I think I can do that. And she starts doing the ducking thing, and he just walks away. And I started thinking about somebody doing that to Aurora one day, and I just felt so bad for her. But at the same time, it's so funny. And it's really not. It's really innocent. It's just it's a prank. You know, you look a little silly, but I don't know. It's not that damaging compared to the pranks of like late with all like the horrible stuff and the crazy things and people throwing stuff on you and dumping stuff on you. That's like that's a timeless good tier prank.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, well here's one. I got 3 that I brought over here. This one is very odd. It's a grandfather is eating, I guess, birthday cake with a set of chopsticks. His granddaughter walks into frame, who can't be more than 7, 8 years old, and that's when this happened. Listen to what she says. Hold on a second. Let me give it a restart. Here we go. Ready?
Eating cake with chopsticks, Dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you die in a fire.
What?
Did you hear that? I said what?
Whoa.
It's not. I hope you die in a fire.
What these kids are like these days? They're all cooked.
Dude, listen.
Eating cake with chopsticks, Dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you die in a fire.
What the fuck? Then why did you say that to Grandpa?
Oh man.
Oh man.
I've never heard anything like that.
Even if it's an inside joke, how can it be an inside joke? Little kid like that. Oh,
Man,
anyway.
that's dark. Yeah, kids these days are pretty cooked. That sentence would never get said to an adult when I was growing up.
No, not at all.
Even
Now,
if it was a joke, that doesn't get said in my house as a kid.
this next one is a little bit dark, but it's also funny because it's part of, well, I don't know. You guys ever see the movie Cliffhanger?
Yeah.
Well, Cliffhanger has been spliced with a Mentos commercial, and it is, I think, in my opinion, it is just fabulous. Take a look at this. Mentos makes everything better.
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life, nothing gets to you. Staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life, fresh goes better. Mentos freshness, fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life.
Mentos, the fresh maker.
Oh man, that's a good one.
But Mike said that to me. I thought it was perfect. One thing after another. I gotta watch that movie again. I wonder if it was.
I've seen one of those with it's a horror trailer of Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I saw that.
That's a classic. One of those like double splice.
That works very well because I mean I've had that conversation with friends of mine a long time that if you really wanted to be harsh on Mrs. Doubtfire, it's a messed up movie. And it doesn't even have to be from the horror end, just from he's a psychopath. I mean, that's just
she should keep the kids.
Seriously,
she was right.
She was right. There is the fact that they allow Robin Williams' character to do all of that in that movie, and it's justified because he loves his children, because he wanted to be around his children.
Yeah.
That's not.
I don't see anything wrong with what he did.
The trauma, bro. Think about, especially the little kid.
That was insane. Bringing him around.
It was
they
insane.
would have been able to figure it out. They would have smelled him and been like, "This, we know this guy."
And Pierce Brosnan, when we were little kid, that came out when I was in 3rd grade. Probably same thing for you. When we were little kids, it's just like Pierce Brosnan, get away from them. He was actually the most stable male figure the kids have ever had in their life, and I didn't notice that until watching that movie as an adult. Pierce Brosnan, he gets a bad rap. Like, yeah, throw a lemon at his head at the pool.
That's true.
He didn't deserve any of that. Having the hood ornament on his Mercedes ripped off, we thought that was cool.
That's thousands of dollars of damage.
I know. He didn't deserve any of that. He was actually a stand-up guy.
He was a nice guy.
Yeah, he stood up. He stepped up and he brought some stability to that household. Finally, which they really needed.
I know. And the worst thing is, you want to talk about the curse that is Mrs. Doubtfire. The fact that he used Mrs. Doubtfire as a temporary measure to get around the kids and to be around them every day, and the fact that he was cursed to remaining Mrs. Doubtfire now to make a living. He now had to be her every day forever. And that was a little bit of that's something else. Anyway, here is the last one I have. I thought this was... What?
Didn't send you any.
It's all right.
But I thought I sent you the one of the Creatures of New York, the guy from Portchester.
No, I didn't see that one.
You know that guy with the spikes in his hair?
He's from right.
Portchester.
Wow. I know that Fleckus follows Creatures of New York. I see him in those likes sometimes. Yeah, so he knows they're really going hard with the Rammstein meme.
That's the best one. But now he's doing a different one where he lights the eyes up.
Anyway, here is the last one of the day that I've watched this about 12 times already today. A blind person reading a scary Braille book. This is a blind person reading a very scary Braille book. I love this. One more time. And the top comment is, God, I hope no blind people see this. Oh man. Anyway, Anyway, that's that. All right, 7:54. I'm not going to go on a break. I'm just going to keep this rolling because, Fleckus, how much time do you have left? Do you have 10 minutes?
I got 10. Yeah, that works.
Okay, so let's do this, and then we're going to keep the lines open for comment on this afterwards. This was an article written by Freya India. As I said, she is a Gen Z writer who, as of late, has been doing a lot of work commentating about on social media and how it has had an effect on her generation in particular, Gen Z. And this one right here is called "A Time We Never Knew." And we just go along the way here. There is a beautiful and melancholic word I like called anemoia. Okay, it means nostalgia for a time or place that no one has ever known. This is a sentiment I often sense from my generation, Gen Z, especially in recent years. I see it in the YouTube videos of old concerts that get millions of views. I see it in our fascination with Polaroids, vinyls, vintage cameras, and VHS tapes. And I see it in our reaction to gut-wrenching videos about how life has changed, like this short movie about dating that recently went viral. Take a look at this. This is a pretty incredible one. This is actually part 1 of 4. Watch this. How dating has changed, part 1.
Excuse me. But you are absolutely beautiful, and I would love to take you on a date sometime.
Damn. Okay. So it goes from the diner, walking up to somebody, paying her a compliment, getting a number, and then it's just swiping right and left in the darkness of your living room. Here's another one for you. How dating has changed. Showing up to pick her up.
Wow, you look gorgeous.
I'll wait for you.
So for those of you in podcast land, it the boy shows up, goes up to the front door, knocks on the door, pays her a compliment, brings her to the car, opens the door, lets her in, whatever, and then it's just modern day parking in front of the house and texting, "Here, come on out." Anyway, there's a few more of those, but let's just get around to this. But perhaps the best example of anemoia is a popularity of 1990s high school videos like this one trending on TikTok, or this one on YouTube with millions of views, captioned, "Phones? No, we had each other." The video has nearly 30,000 comments, some from Gen Xers nostalgic for their 90s youth, but many from Gen Z aching for a world they never experienced. Older generations might dismiss this as teens wanting to be different and reject modern culture as they often do, but the comments reveal something deeper. Here's a few of the comments that she took in. "This feels nostalgic despite me not even existing during this time. The whole concept of a real childhood is completely out the window at this point in time, and that's extremely sad to me. By the way, I'm 15, born in 2003. I'm 20 years old, so I wasn't even conceived at the time of this video, but it leaves me feeling empty. My high school experience was nothing like this. I remember short bursts of people living in the moment, but everything revolved around our phones, Snapchat, Instagram status. It almost makes me angry because I've never had simple, straightforward interactions as shown in this video. Even looking at people in the background, they are completely present and not buried in their phones. Everyone seems a lot more social. I'm jealous of millennials and Gen X. Y'all experienced a golden time to be young and free." Here's another one for you, 2 more. As someone who graduated in 2015, this looks like such a nice time. Not a phone in sight, people actually talking face to face. I wish I could have grown up in an era like this. The Matrix came out that year, and now we live in it, said someone else. Just one more thing, one more paragraph. I'll read the rest afterwards because I just want to get your conversation in. There were hard times, of course. The 90s weren't all bliss, no era is, but the world we inhabit now is so markedly different. New technologies cheapen and undermine every basic human value, friendship, family, love, self-worth. all have been recast and commodified by the new digital world, by constant connectivity, by apps and algorithms, by increasingly solitary platforms and video games. I watch these 90s videos and I have the overwhelming sense that something has been lost, something communal, something joyous, and something simple. Let's just talk about that a little bit. There's more to say, but I think she's really cutting to the core of something. And again, this is being written from a Gen Z perspective. This is not Gen X just kind of like throwing shade at a younger generation. These are people analyzing where they feel they are right now.
Wow. Yeah, and I'm a millennial, so I had the like full high school experience. Like we had phones, but they were flip phones that you only used to like get picked up from school or to call someone for something specific. We weren't even texting back when I was in high school. But I think like one of the things that the younger generation will never get is because so much is happening on the phone, it's actually taking away from everything in real life. So like when I was a kid and I was like in middle school and younger, like for fun, for example, we had paintball guns at one of my friend's house. And then we would leave like the trash out on the porch, and at night raccoons would come, and then we'd shoot them with the paintball guns, and that was sick. And then like the 5 or so young guys that were my age in like 7th grade who experienced that, it was so much fun. And then we go back to school, and then we'd be like, yo, Friday we're hanging out and we're gonna go raccoon hunting again. And we had this shared experience that no one else really had. There were stories, but like we all had this shared experience. And now all of like the interacting and shared experiences are on social media, but it's like 100th of the significance of like a real life thing. So it's like it's being shared so much more, and there's so many people in the community online and everyone sharing and liking pictures and commenting, but like the impact it has on someone's life compared to the 5 guys that were out at 2 a.m. shooting the raccoons with the paintball gun, it's like 100th of the impact. But it's so much more reach and so many more people involved, but it's actually so much less.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's entropy. It's that concept of entropy there. That eventually, like you throw a rubber ball inside of a box. Let's say a glass cube box. It's sealed up. You throw a rubber ball in it. You put the top on top real quick, and it's going to bounce around, boom, boom, boom. But the more that the energy is dispersed, it's wasted, it goes away. I would say that from a standpoint, what you're just talking about there too, that the more that you expand this pursuit of endless expansion to try to bring more people in for a moment that you're creating, it actually disperses the energy that was consumed usually by a few and was so much more potent. Because, of course, it was just for you guys. And there wasn't this, I don't know, in many ways, a performative aspect to it. Because what happens afterwards? When you have a moment like that, when you have the night with the paintball and the raccoons, the next night is, hey, what are we doing? You guys want to come over again? And maybe that night it's just nothing really happens. You whip out the N64, you order pizza, you go out, whatever the hell it is. It wasn't this idea that, well, tomorrow has to be bigger because last night we did this and it got a certain amount of views, and now we've got to one-up it. It was just, again, being present and completely without pretense. And when I look at this and I read this blog, the thing that kills me is, yeah, we have experiences. We know what the world was before. We have that feeling, but it's not like we can just transport ourselves there and be there because we were there. We have a little bit of, we understand, we can compare and contrast. Some people can't do that anymore. It's not just because we were born in the late 70s, the early to mid 80s at this point, that we have some superpower. A lot of people have already forgotten what that feels like, and they've completely immersed themselves in right now, or what we have going on right now. When you go to a birthday party, or you check out, you just really read the room at Thanksgiving or Christmas, it's people of 3 or 4 generations that are sitting there fiddling with their phone. It's not like everybody that was born before 1990 has become resistant to. This impacts human beings across the board. You can tell it because it's definitely sunk its hooks into us. A lot of us are trying to reel themselves back at this point, but at least we know what kind of a feeling we're looking for. You know, I think that's where we have a little bit of perspective where it comes to our advantage. But yeah, man, it's that's a great example what you just brought up there about the.
You think there's ever a way to get it back? That 90s to the early 2000s, like besides taking the phones away, like I don't know, maybe if like an EMP goes off and we have to go back, that could maybe do it. The
Earth and humanity would heal itself, I think, and it really is just a matter of how we choose or we are forced to walk away from the technology. I mean, you would hope that we would have the control. We were raised to have the control to do things in moderation. And then again, look at social media. You really think about it, you say, well, this could be a miraculous thing, but obviously there's so many ways to become addicted to it, so many ways it's going to turn into something it was never intended to be. But do you never take that leap? Think about all the good things that social media has done as far as the proliferation of ideas, of humor. It's created completely new, vibrant sections of the economy. It's like, where do you stop and where do you keep yourself all bottled up? I don't know, but I guess we're gonna have to.
I've been tempted, and like I've been wanting to do less, like long term. I see myself doing less social media and like getting off the phones. I watched something about Tucker. There was like an interview, and he was saying how he barely uses his phone. I think he like barely uses email. Doesn't even like do that much on his phone at all. So he's still kind of living in the old world, but only because he gained success in the new world and then is like leaving it deliberately. So it's like that's kind of like a move I'm seeing, which makes some sense. It's like you can do partly take part. Take part in the modern world as it is, and then get resources, and then kind of get out and go back to the old way.
Yeah,
like escape it.
Yeah, but then you think about that, and that's great as an individual. And obviously, you got to do whatever's best for you. But when we talk about, is there any way that we're going to get back? That world is a world that we all shared. And when you think about it's somebody being able to be so successful in our world that they actually have the luxury of being able to strip away the layers and live some other way. Now, I know that there are people out there who don't have the means that Tucker Carlson does, and they still don't engage with it all. But as the real question is, how does the mass populace get there again? Because all of our social problems are because of the technology. All of it, that is the greatest instigator of ill will, all the racist, sexism nonsense. Usually people just go to college and they get their heads gassed up by some Marxist teacher over there. But that's only a few thousand, 10,000 or so. I don't know. It's not like tens of millions of people at a time that are just getting soaked in it. It would do us all so well, but I don't know. I don't know where that is. Maybe it is the EMP. You never know. Maybe it is.
Yeah, because it'll never be like no one will choose to do it as a group, so it almost has to happen without a choice, and just like be the current situation that we're in is all the electronics are off, and then maybe people will get a taste of the old world, and then the old world of no phones, and then when phones do come back, maybe that'll help people choose and be like, actually, I kind of liked what we had going.
We did. It was great, man. You talk about the flip phones. We thought that we were at the top of the food chain at that point because the phones had gotten so small, so compact, but so powerful. They did exactly what they needed to do, and we were out and about living our life. And then all of a sudden, the phones got massive again because they were essentially computers. And it's just, I don't know, as good as it is not compatible with our species. So the real question I'm going to be asking people in the second half, of course, the lines will be open. You can bring what you like, but I would love to hear this. What do you think Gen Z and Gen Alpha will be nostalgic for in the year 2075? Will it be nostalgic for us being around for as long as we can be? Our generation being with us. Were we the only link that they had? Will things have reset itself by then? What do you think they're going to be nostalgic for? And Fleckus, if you have anything that you want to throw out there before we depart, then go right ahead.
I feel like they might be nostalgic for people like them on social media might be nostalgic for like talent that was never on social media, because all they're used to is going to be like, all they're going to be used to is people who have gone viral and are on social media. So maybe they'll be nostalgic for like a Michael Jackson or like, artists like that, where they never had social media, but then still achieved success in like a alien way to them based on how their current success model works.
Okay. So what you're talking about is what I like to talk about. I like to bring up is called the Babe Ruth mystique. And what I would say is that, back in Babe Ruth, you talk about the 1920s or so, where this is 100 years later. These are people, either the golden age of Hollywood as well. These are people that you saw on the big screen. These are people you read about in the papers. You saw their stats. Maybe every once in a while you were able to pay to go see them, but they were something of like living legends and lore, because unless they showed up on a 5-minute newsreel before a movie that you went to go see at the theater, you didn't see them. You certainly didn't know what they ate for breakfast that morning. And you literally, I mean, some celebrities will tell you about their bowel movements every day. So it's just that I see what you're saying there. I see what you're saying.
Like people who live fully without it.
Yeah.
That would be like something they could be nostalgic for. Someone who didn't have the pressure and the intrusion of social media at every turn.
It'd be like that the human zoo. That's really what it'd be like. They'd see us as wild animals. I don't know though. It could does that mean Brave New World? John the Savage? I don't know. Anyway, Fleckus, tell everybody what you're doing upcoming week. When you upload your podcast, for those out there who have never heard you before, tell everybody all the good shit.
Thank you. Yes, the show is on Tuesdays and Fridays at 11 a.m. on my YouTube, Fleccas Talks YouTube, FLECCAS. And we are on episode 170 coming up. So we've been doing twice a week since July 4th of last year. It's going good.
Wow.
So check it out. You'll like the show. We make fun of pretty much everybody. We're pretty close to getting deleted from all the social media and stuff too. So we're not holding anything back. It's myself and Richard Rapoy, my co-host. And then, this upcoming week, nothing crazy going on. I've been playing some golf at a crappy 9-hole course a couple miles away from me. I go with Richard Rapoy a couple times a week. We play like this horrible 9-hole course, low-class establishment, but we like it. It's good Americana.
Did you teach yourself, or did you guys have somebody that showed you?
We both know how to play. Like, we both grew up playing enough to know all the rules, and we have our own clubs. So it's a good Americana establishment, lower class place. We have like a card room we go to. We have this. We have a cigar place. We're trying to get the old school American experience.
Okay. Well, listen, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it down there. Apparently, you're going to be able to see the Aurora Borealis as far south as Alabama tonight. Of course, we have complete cloud cover over here again, and it's going to be epic, supposedly. But
that's awesome. That's gonna be like the real Aurora Borealis, like full blown everywhere?
Yeah, because the solar storm. It just pelts us. That's really what that's what triggers all that stuff. And I don't know. I was really, really excited about the idea, but of course, this always happens when they say that the aurora is going to be seen lower than Canada, and that we always have cloud cover. So we have another one tonight, but maybe you will have some luck. So be on the lookout, bro.
I'll check it out. I'll report back.
All right, Fleccas Talks. Thank you for joining us again, man. I can't wait for the next one.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, let's do it again next month.
You got to take care.
All right.
There you go. He gone.
He's gone.
Yeah, he cut himself off. I didn't do that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Matt and I will be back right after this. It's 8:15. Now you're calling in. Wherever the hell you are, be there. Call in. I'm going to be taking all of the super chat. I'm going to read your super chats from quitefrankly.tv on those gold pills. We're going to go to quitefranklysuperchat.com. We're going to read your Rumble rants, and everybody on YouTube who wants to send a super chat. There is no super chats there. Been demonetized since 2020. So go to quitefranklysuperchat.com. That's the universal super chat, and you will get on the show subido. All right, we will be right back.
It's intermission time, folks. Time out to press the like button. Thank you.
Rabbit season! Duck season! Rabbit season! Duck season! Rabbit season! Duck season!
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Watch Quite Frankly and stuff.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly. Quite frankly.
Quite frankly, all my fellow Franciscans.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly. Quite frankly. Quite frankly.
Quite frankly. Quite frankly. We'll be in the gulag with you, Frank.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Yo, what's good, Frank? Quite frankly.
Quite frankly podcast.
I want to get a Coke. Can I get a Coke?
So everybody watch, Quite Frankly, with Frank.
Quite frankly.
How dare you?
She goes on to say, let's see here. Of course, we have so many material comforts and conveniences now. I can follow the news all over the world, Google any statistic I want, write on Substack, and WhatsApp I can WhatsApp someone on the other side of the world. And all for free. In a world like this, it's easy to see why older generations might not understand why Gen Z is struggling to cope. But God, that loss, that feeling, I'm grieving something I never knew. I'm grieving that giddy excitement over waiting for and playing a new vinyl for the first time. When we now instantly stream songs on YouTube, use Spotify with no waiting, and skip impatiently through new albums. I'm grieving the anticipation of going to the movies, when all I've ever known is Netflix on demand and spoilers and struggling to sit through an entire film. It's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I've never in my life watched movies in half-hour segments.
We all got used to short videos and quick shows.
I never in my life, sometimes it's I would love to watch a full one, but now it's just out of necessity.
We want everything quick now. Fast.
Well, that doesn't make it very quick.
Just, get it over with.
Speaking of quick, you know what I thank God I didn't watch live? The Tom Brady roast. That thing was like 3 hours long.
Yeah, it wasn't funny, right?
When I went home last night, I saw it there, and I didn't know what to watch. I said, I'm going to put this on. And there was about 3 hours. I must have fast-forwarded through maybe 2 hours and 45 minutes. I think I watched about an hour total. There was some good stuff in there, but if I had to watch the full 3 hours, I would have gone out of my mind. Anyway, let's just keep going with this because it gets better. Let's see here. I'm grieving the simple joys, reading a magazine, playing a board game, hitting a swing ball for hours. Where now even split-screen TikToks, where two videos play at the same time, don't satisfy our insatiable, miserable need to be entertained. That's what that's all about. I've noticed, and I was wondering, what the hell is the origin of that? Where somebody, I don't know, somebody will be having a religious debate on the top screen, and at the bottom screen, it's somebody, doing cement work or laying down mortar with bricks, like something totally unrelated. I said, what the hell is this schizo shit? Be on the lookout for that. That happens more and more.
I've seen it.
I'm glad she said something about that, because I hadn't even thought to comment on it. Let's see here. Without being drenched in endless opinions online. Let's see here. I'm homesick for a time when something horrific happened in the world, and instead of immediately opening Twitter, people held each other. A time of more shared feeling and less frantic analysis. A time of being both disconnected but supremely connected. I think that goes right in hand with what Fleckus was saying about, at the same time, being able to put out a message to upwards of, 1 million people.
Last time that will ever happen was 9/11, bro. Remember that?
Oh, I do.
You won't ever see something like that again. People just coming out at the same time every night with a flag or candles.
We got together at the park. I remember that. Everybody, the whole town got together at the park. I remember. I have a lot of cringy shit on VHS. We had just gotten. We were all
from 9/11.
Yeah, we were all starting to get all of our licenses back then. And, we would take old flags, tie them to, I don't know, broomsticks, just so that we can have a flag affixed to some kind of a pole. And we would drive up and down boulevards and all that stuff with the flags out. And
nothing wrong with that.
But some of the other ways that we're trying to pump people up was very cringy to watch.
It's all right. I just replaced all the flags in town today. I was proud to do it.
Because
not one coming down or going up touch the ground.
I think the thing is that the whole point is noticing that it almost feels a little cringe because it was comfortable then. That I don't know. Maybe it's just a nervous reaction.
I want to see these videos now.
I'll show it to you. It's fun. We did stupid shit.
Who is it? You, Aunt, and Mike?
Yeah. In between, we're doing things like, lighting, I don't know, fireworks. It was just random little hits of 9/11 in there. All right, here we go. Let's see here. I even a sense of loss for tragic news, but I never knew it. Maybe briefly as a child, but most of us in Gen Z were given phones and tablets so early that we barely remember life before them. Most of us never knew falling in love without swiping and subscription models. We never knew having a first kiss without having watched Pornhub first. Ugh, that's sad. That's not going to happen. Not in my house. No, it's got to be freedom. It's got to be real human shit. This is all like, this feels like it's a cultural sterilization. That's what's going on here. This is what she's describing is a culture that has been sterilized. Because that burns something out of you. You lose something. I hate what it did to me. I recognize that stuff. We never knew flirting and romance before it became sending DMs or reacting to Snapchat stories with flame emojis. We never knew friendship before it came to Snapstreak or using each other like props to look popular on Instagram. And the freedom, we never felt the freedom to grow up clumsily, to be young and dumb, to make stupid mistakes without fear of it being posted online. That's definitely something. That's definitely something. In fact, the only reason why some of us are here right now is because we grew up when we did. And you can actually survive some mistakes. It's very hard. It's very hard now. I mean, seriously, you think of how many people in our generation would not be here at our age if we grew up in a later generation.
What do you mean? Like,
think of what would have been either gotten us in a lot of trouble. Especially,
well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like we were. That becomes like a protective zone right there. Oh man, just a little bit more freedom to make mistakes.
Cameras everywhere too now.
Yeah,
we didn't have to worry about that.
But listen, she's diagnosing a lot of this, but she gets, she starts talking about this stuff at the end. Listen to this. It doesn't have to be this way, she said. We can give future generations a real-world childhood. We can prioritize play. We can delay entry to social media platforms until at least 16. We can encourage young people just to hang out with each other, without supervision, without smartphones. We can take the element of childhood from previous eras and reintroduce them in modern life. But we have to remember what has been lost. When we are grieving record stores, mixtapes, old school romance, and friends goofing around in 90s high schools, what are we actually grieving? There you go. Perfect. She's very, very, this girl is great. We're grieving delayed gratification, deeper connection, play and fun, risk and thrill, life with less obsessive self-scrutiny. They are things we can reclaim. You don't. It's that whole point of like, when you know that you really want that watch. I want a Rolex. That's a life goal of mine. What do you really want? I mean, obviously you say, well, hey, it's a nice something. It's a status symbol. But what's behind that? Validation is some kind. That feeling of triumph, like you made it. That's what you're chasing. If you're actually able to attain that, Rolexes are only going to be the tip of the iceberg that you're going to experience. Then you're actually like living a joyous life. But we usually attach a material thing to all those things, and it limits us. And that's why I say the record stores were great, but that's not really what it is. There's always going to be somebody selling vinyl, and things get better. It's just really the stuff behind it. So she says we have to start somewhere. I suppose what I'm asking for here is some sympathy and a little bit more grace. It's easy to mock Gen Z and Gen Alpha for their soaring screen time, to roll your eyes at teenagers wasting their youth in their rooms, ruminating about themselves and feeling hopeless about the future, but they are trying their best to keep up with a world so agonizingly different from any before it, and is the only one that they have ever known. So please, next time you cringe at Gen Z for not coping, for not feeling cut out for this world, remember how painful it is to think that the good times are over. Then imagine how much more painful it would be to realize you never knew them. This was such a good article. And I wanted to bring it up. So you guys and gals can call in on that. It's 914-200-0269. And in the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to go to suspicious observers. This is the update on the level 4 storm, the first impact. This was a couple hours ago. Take a listen to this.
Good afternoon, folks. The first solar impact came 6 hours early. We certainly have much more coming, but here's where things stand right now, and then we'll try to come live later this evening right here on YouTube. The plasma shockwave struck Earth's magnetic field around lunchtime in the United States. It was very fast and moderate density shockwave with a powerful embedded magnetic field. The magnetic disruption to Earth came on much more quickly than anyone anticipated, and that includes me, who knows Earth's magnetic field is weakening. The geoelectric dynamics were furiously amplified in the Western world, and no, this mapping doesn't exist for anywhere else. But it was quite the pulse that we took as the geomagnetic storm reached level 4 just from this first impact, which was probably a combination of the first 2 eruptions, maybe 3. Magnetometer pulse was huge, similar to some of the biggest storms of the last 20 years, and we're just getting started. And instantly, all at the same time, several networks and systems began having issues. These are the local and regional levels we had predicted in the last 2 shows. We will keep tracking this, but if you happen to see any technological news, including power outages, please share them with us here in the comments or on Twitter. So we have 3 or 4 shockwaves still coming. I'll hopefully see you tonight for the live stream. Watch for the announcement on my Twitter page, which is linked below, @SunWeatherman. And I will see you then to answer questions and give another update. Still monitoring closely. Subscribe, and I will see you in a bit. Be safe, everyone.
All right, so that was the update from a little while ago, and I don't think that there's anything else. Let me see. No, that was the last update, and then nothing has gone live just yet. So, it's going to be live at 8:30 in 3 minutes. So now, in there, he's upgrading it to a level 5 solar storm. More on the way. That is going live in a little while, but we might be getting off a little bit early ourselves. But let's just take a call. Call on anything you feel like tonight. Here we go. John, you're on the air.
Hey, Matt.
Yo.
The internet is gone. I'm not really talking to you, but, keep your blood inside, okay?
Okay, I will.
That bleeding thing out, man. I didn't like that movie.
What movie?
So yeah, we'll be okay tomorrow and the next day. If you're susceptible to geo propaganda, solar flares, you might die. But if you're not, you'll be all right.
No,
but it will stress people out because they warn people about it. I don't know. My guy was on. My guy is, I don't like to jump on anybody's channels, but he was Oppenheimer Ranch Project, and he went over against Suspicious Observer, who is, he's kind of shitty guy, whatever. Even, whatever. My scientist guy, put him into his thing. Everybody's making it out like it's the biggest Carrington event. Well, guess what? The Carrington event was 100 times worse than this one, okay? So this one is the worst one in 20 years, right? But guess what happened 20 years ago? Remember?
Yeah.
Not much. Not much. Some people didn't even know what happened.
Okay.
Because I was even asking, what the fuck happened 20 years ago? It's the worst one in 20 years. Yeah, well, yeah. Fuck. We got the worst president right now in 250 years. All right, man. I'm glad you're safe, and I knew you'd be safe.
Yeah.
Mel, Frank. Hey, how you doing, pal?
I'm doing okay.
Hey, you don't really sound flat, Frank. Especially when you wear that Christmas sweater, you're definitely not flat.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the call, John.
I ain't flat for no butt cheeks, because if you get into that ass area, you'll end up with brain worms or something. I don't know. I heard it from a Kennedy. All right, I love you guys.
Okay.
What? Bye.
Well, it's funny because people were commenting on how my voice is different when you call in on the phone. You hear me on the phone compared to what. And I got home last night. I said, "Your flat voiced husband's home," and she because Lauren had wrote into me. Said, "No, your voice does sound different on the phone. It's whatever." And she said, "No, you don't. Doesn't sound like flat or bad or anything like that. It just sounds a little gay." It sounds like a little gay. Like what? Like what? Like soft and like she wasn't being. I was like, what? She goes, but the thing is that the way you sound like is the way you sound like on the show, not on the phone. I said, well, good. Thank God for that. So next time we get a call, that's what people were trying to tell me last night? Well, Frank, it kind of sounds like you, but it's a little gay. Just a little gay or something like that.
It's a little English.
914-200-0269. There was a little bit of that, and then let's get into your super chats. Here we go. First one up is from Katie Jones. Says, 2 of my favorite fellas. Tons of love and hugs from Oregon. Thank you, Katie. And Fleckus thanks you as well. Jay Britt says, hey, Matt. Hey, Frank. Always enjoy Fleccas Friday. Me too. I got to make sure I get him on the schedule for June. All right. What else do we have? Now we're over on... Wait a second. We've got some Rumble rants, I see, from before. Stephen Ellis. What a great week. It has been a good week. I'm grateful for it. Jay Semo says, hey, Frank, listening to you from Tucson, where my daughter just delivered another Frankly. Oh, congratulations. Fantastic. Fantastic. Another Frankly has joined the family. Esther G says, that Bigfoot clip you're showing is one of the first, quite frankly, episodes I watched last spring. Been officially watching Lurking since. Frankie, thank you for all the laughs. We adore you. I adore you. I adore you too, Esther. Thank you. I know. Like, I love when how he's just kind of like complaining about the Bigfoot situation. He sounds like just complaining about the ordeal that she put him through. But it's like, can you imagine? Let's see here. Jen Mooey says, ode to Matt. Always good to see you with Frank. Great show. That's from Jen. Hold on. I didn't even see Matt was on the screen. There you go. That was from Jen, Matt.
Thank you, Jen.
There you go. Very, very nice. Very generous of people. I haven't seen that many Rumble rants in a long time. I have not. Let's see. Over on the Gold Pills on QuiteFrankly.tv, Foxhole. It's me, Valerie. Just got a 12-month bronze tier subscription. That means for 12 months, she's going to have access to Sunday streams. She's going to have access to the book club streams, all of that stuff, band practice, you name it. Because becoming a subscriber inside of the chat room on Foxhole, QuiteFrankly.tv, Pilled, that is one of 4 major ways to become a monthly sponsor and have all of those universal perks open up to you. So thank you so much, Val. Looks like we have some fun ahead of us. We'll be doing this together until May of 2025. Wow. C. Blanche, thank you. Not my name. Thank you so much. Pam D. Homegoy says, from Matt's contagious laughter. Matt, you've made some money tonight so far.
Thank you.
Always like splitting anyway, but this is exclusively yours. I'm giving that to you. Let's see here. Paulie9363. Thank you. Secret Weapon, thank you. Stephen and Lori, says, fun show. Happy Friday and weekend. Yes, happy Friday to you all. 914-200-0269. What's wrong with the lines over here? Got thousands of people watching. What the hell's happening? 914-200-0269. There you have that. Cody says, worst solar storm in 20 years is a great opportunity to pull off some sort of false flag or push some new horseshit legislation. It never ends. You know, I guess you can say that. You can also, look back to all the things that we've talked about with Jim Lee about what is really behind global warming. When they know that we're going into a cooling cycle, what are they really doing there? Well, I don't know. If you can understand what's going on, how can you create an opportunity inside of it? So if they know that the globe is actually cooling, then they just start shooting up the atmosphere with one thing or another. They go, the cap and trade. They are just, setting up international taxation tribunals and all that stuff to turn down the thermometer of a planet that is already on the downward trend, So they can market it as the cure for something that doesn't need one. And then when nature just continues to do what it's going to do, they can take credit for the temperature going down. It's really incredible. It's an incredible business they're in. The lying, the deceit, the stealing. It's an incredible business. Only because the power that's needed to make the whole thing work is just incredible. The media power, the military power, intelligence. It's just an overwhelming operation that they run. The technocrat side of things. 740, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, it's Jalen Winnings.
Hey, what's going on, man? Jalen Winnings is always the first commenter, usually always the first commenter on the book club threads over there when we do our book club sessions. Jalen, it's so great to have you on, and thanks for all the great commenting on the book club.
Oh, no problem. I just wanted to say that you sound gay, and I want to slap your butt cheek.
Oh, thanks. All right, then he's gone.
Jeez.
Next time
somebody calls in and, hi, quite frankly, you're on the air.
See what they think about that. They won't think I'm gay then. All right. Let's see. Anything else? We got a couple more seconds then. Just want to see how everybody's doing. Nostalgia. The one time a year Sound of Music comes on one of 4 channels. Yeah.
What are you nostalgic for?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, everything she talked about in there is just some. It's more so of a feeling. It's for me. It's not really a thing. I mean, I think thinking about all the little details of what life was like, is fun. But it's all rooted back to a certain feeling.
Oh, all right. Well, then, I mean, like, what do you like? I wish I would have rather been the age I am now in the 60s or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's
okay? All right. So then you're talking about what would your golden age be?
Yeah. What, are you?
I don't know. I think that I would have done. I think I would have done really well in the 80s. No, I wouldn't have done like drugs and stuff, but especially in the music scene and all that stuff. That's something there too. I would love to be in a metal band in the 80s. To have done what we were doing in high school in the 80s would have been so incredible, because what we were doing, what me and Anthony were doing in high school with all of our friends, because we had a couple of different bands, but it was always Anthony and I in the band together, and we had some really good times, and we were able to put together shows around here. Like we went and pitched show ideas to certain gymnasiums, like at schools and churches and stuff, and we'd get their auditoriums, and we'd get the PA people. We'd find all the bands, because we knew all the bands in Westchester and getting into New York City, and we'd put together these shows, and we would have still then around maybe 2002, 3, 4, 5, there were sometimes 150, 200 local kids coming out Like when we did one at Holy Rosary.
That's a pretty good turnout for over here.
Yes, but that was the tail end of it, man.
Yeah.
And we're talking about we needed to promote that for maybe about a month and a half straight, so that we got the right bands coming in. For like we wanted to make sure that there's a popular band from Yonkers, a popular band from like Pelham or something, because we knew that that band is going to bring at least 30 or 40 people into town to kind of like grow our numbers. And that was great. We had a little bit of, there was times that we did little things like we had a lot of fun. Just releasing 30 rolls of toilet paper into a crowd of kids in a gym and just say, yo, stream it. Just go. And you're just throwing toilet paper all over the place. People are crowd surfing. It was possible to crowd surf. There's enough people to crowd surf. That was pretty cool. But it was the tail end. And I know that depending on where you are, the music scene is still lively, but it's not like it was. And in the 80s, shit, man.
Yeah.
We had a lot of people around here. There was just so many places. Yeah. The people who played at the Capitol, the people who played down...
oh, yeah. Nah, it was the place to be. Moby started in Portchester.
Twisted Sister.
Not that he's good or I don't
Twisted
like
Sister
Moby.
played a lot of their bigger shows up here.
It was in,
things like that were going on.
Typo played here. Not at the Capitol, but they were here. It was Willow Street.
Typo Negative was at Willow Street. A lot of bands were, and I never saw.
We're on Willow Street, though.
This is what I'm talking about. Willow Street is one of those things that I would only hear stories about from my Gen X friends who were about 7-8 years older than me, and they were going to these shows that I never saw one. I only hear about shit that happened at Willow Street because I just missed out on it. Those are a couple of major music venues right in our little town.
Yeah.
So, I was watching a Twisted Sister documentary somewhere in Netflix on something a little while ago. Oh, I mean like maybe 5-6 years ago. And I was blown away when I saw them talking about pretty much where the old Modell's was. What the hell is that called?
Yeah, it was a bar or something like that. Yeah, that's why if you go in there, you would still see these little round metal things in the floor at Modell's. It's where the stools were. Because I used to work. You worked there too, didn't you?
I did.
Don't you remember those little round things that were in the floor?
Let me see. Hold on. Here, look. Here's Twisted Sister live in Portchester from
Dick's.
From June 27, 1979. You ready for this? This is it. Wait. Live at Club Detroit?
Club Detroit
in
Portchester, New
Club
York.
Hold on a second.
Ask your mom. Maybe your mom will remember.
Oh, it's just the audio.
Honey, you don't understand. Though my lives have just begun. I just can't trade these two.
That's a lot. Hold on. Hold on. I'll ask my mother later. So, yeah, those are the types of things there. I think it'd probably be the 80s. And it's just about what you want to capitalize on. Let's take another call. 720, you're on the air. Go ahead.
How are you?
Oh, hey, Frank. Yeah, you were talking about the music scene. I went to see The Who in 82 in Michigan. Oh God, what's the name of the venue? It's not even there anymore. The Lions used to play there.
The Mayans?
Pontiac Silverdome. Yeah, Pontiac Silverdome. And in 84, that was only 5 years after the Cleveland event where people died at a Who concert.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So that was on their mind. And there were, so it was like, it was like an ice rink that was, empty. They can also play football there.
What?
But it was just concrete there. And the people were in the stands, and they were jumping over. There were a bunch of cops lined up, and if enough people got through, they could get through the cops, and then they could get down on in front of the stage. And they were all pushing together, and so yeah, we were thinking about that at the time. That was quite an interesting, really great show too.
Yeah, but also it's just it's very. I mean, maybe there is a place where that still is, but I think the bigger thing is that it was more likely to be. You can find an environment like that in more places. It was a little bit more part of it because everybody. It didn't matter what you're listening to, whether it was rock or something else. If you had to go out and participate in that. You know, you can have your records and stuff like that, but you went out to shows. You had a nightlife or whatever the hell it was. So. Yeah, it was a lot more culturally chaotic in that respect. But thanks for the call, man.
All right, thanks.
You got it. And Matt, while I was talking to him, Matt is pointing.
I don't want you to run it over.
Yeah, there was a cross on the floor.
And that's not supposed to be there. So that's why
I don't even know where it came
I
from.
had to interrupt it.
I don't know where it came from because I have the Benedictine cross over here that Gadget Doc gave me. I always have that one. My grandmother's rosary right there. And I didn't think I had a third one here. I don't know what that is. All right. Let's see here. Stone Roller says, thanks, guys. And Smalls, Tennessee says, I miss my waterbed. And then Sean Joe at the end there, waterbed. That's something I used to think I wanted.
Yeah.
And then the more I think about it, it's like, I don't know how. Did anybody else out there have a waterbed and slept soundly? Because that was like more like a ride to me.
I think I slept in one waterbed once. I didn't like it.
No, I never had a waterbed. So Skip is the only person I knew that had a waterbed.
Yeah.
He had it at his place, and we saw that like maybe. I remember him showing it to us. We had to stop by his place for one thing when we were going somewhere else. He said, yo, feel that. It's a waterbed. And we were like, I don't know how anybody could sleep on it. It seems like just a really stupid novelty, to be honest. A painful one. All right. That's that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can call anytime next week. You can send me a super chat, or I should say an email, and let me know what you think about this, because if there's any opinions to be shared, then we will do it again on Monday, and I will amend all of our nostalgia talks tonight, especially if you are Gen Z. If you're Gen Z, I'd love to hear from you, but this opens it up to everybody else. Okay? That's it. Well, you know what? One more. Here we go. 608, you're on the air. Go ahead. Last call of the night.
What's up? My aunt actually had a waterbed when I was growing up.
So you got at least got to flop down on it once, and it's more like I don't know, as a kid it's just like almost like a science project. You never actually consider it being a place to sleep.
Yeah, we never really slept on it. I don't even think my aunt really slept on it too much, but it was definitely fun to jump around on and have fun.
Yes.
And speaking of the music scene, my mom, her husband, his dad was the best friend of Les Paul in Waukesha. So I actually grew up around garage bands and like heavy metal and rock. And like I never see that anymore. I never can walk down a street and hear like 4 bands playing in their garages.
It was something, man. It really was. And again, it was probably what I knew, as fun as it was probably a fraction of the way it was maybe 15 years prior, because that was just one of those things where everybody was always forming bands. Everybody was. People had different projects. People were just starting to pick. We were all just getting out of middle school, going into high school, and everybody was just starting to pick out things to start playing with the express purpose of, hey, we want to start a band. I better learn an instrument. You didn't want to miss out on that. That at least pick up a bass.
Yeah, my dad actually got me a Ludwig drum set when I was a kid, and my brother, Fender Stratocaster, the classics, and we had lessons and all that. And I'm only 29, so like this is all in the teens and early 2000s. So
yeah, well, I'm 10 years ahead of you, and that's good that you got that far. But thanks for calling in, man.
Yeah, thanks. Have a good night.
You too. Be well. Fine. Just one more. 585, you're on the air. Last one of the night for real.
Hey, Frank.
Hey.
Just want to let you know, this is conservative Craig from Rochester, New York, in the miserable state of New York. But he's talking about the water beds. I had to call you. I had a water bed back in the 80s.
Okay.
And I loved it at first, but man, it gave me freaking back pain eventually.
I was gonna say.
And I kept it for my wife, and she had our first child. She said, "Oh, I love it because she could sleep on her belly, pregnant belly." And as soon as my son was born, we got rid of that son of a bitch.
That I don't know. Maybe you can sleep on your belly maybe a 1 month longer than the average, but that doesn't have that much give. You can't. An 8 month, 9 month pregnant woman can't lay down on her belly on that thing. No way.
Oh, it was brutal. I was so glad to get rid of it. My mother had one too, and the thing started to leak besides. So we had to get rid of that. It's like,
leaking too.
They are a freaking nightmare.
I wonder how many waterbeds are actually bought these days, because everything you just described there is.
I don't think anybody buys a waterbed these days. I have a nice latex mattress now. The thing weighs like fucking 4,000 pounds, but you know what? It's the best mattress ever.
I can attest to this. You have got, if there's anything in your home that you go out and you spend a little bit more on, that you got to break it down into monthly payments or something, spend extra on a mattress. It is not something you are ever going to regret. Spend extra.
1/3 of your life sleeping, right?
You have to spend more money on a mattress. You have to. It's important. It really is. It's everything. I can't tell you, since moving upstairs into into our new place, it's that was really the only thing we reevaluated, because
what kind of mattress do you have?
I don't even know. I don't even know. If you asked me this time last year.
Wife bought it?
No, we went together. And but as far as recalling what the hell the thing is, I don't remember. I'd probably remember maybe 6 months ago, but it's just the bed. It doesn't matter what the hell it is. But
water beds are a freaking nightmare, man.
Well, thanks for calling in.
Well, thanks for taking my call.
Of course. Fellow New Yorkers, we're all miserable. We just want to be able to make sure that we all feel good. What he said from the miserable state of New York, I felt that.
Well, we got the Rangers.
I felt that when he said miserable.
The Rangers could give us a little joy.
What are they up to right now? Are they playing they're playing Carolina or something?
Yeah, they're up 2-0.
Oh, all right. Best of 7?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's next? Stanley Cup? Or how many rounds is there?
I think there's one more round and then the Stanley Cup.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this was a wonderful night. Thank you so much, Fleccus, for coming out here and hanging with us. And thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Francis.
Really great to hang out with you, man. Really is. People like it. It's a fun time. And it means that another week of work is done. And I want one last thing. How many rounds is there? Shut up. And one last thing I want to say is another thank you to our friends at All Things Art Bell on Rumble, who curates wonderful playlists and marathons on Thursday nights. And last night, it was really interesting to listen to the whole Mel's Hole saga again. And that was a lot of fun. And everybody being in the chat room and talking, that's a great thing. And I can't wait until we build back to, every night there being some programming there, things that are live, interactive, good stuff. Anyway, you guys are great. Thanks for all the inspiration. I'll see you on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy Mother's Day to you all of you mothers out there. And I'll catch you on the flip. Take care.
I'll catch you on the flip side.